Hello and welcome to another quick Flightgear tutorial. So today we will do a little video about how to do takeoff and landing with a DC-3 from Lukla in Nepal. That's on a special request from a young Flightgear pilot named Manu Bashkar. So he specially requested, he wanted to see how to land the DC-3 in Lukla. And that's what we will try to do today. So let's get into the startup procedure. We are here on the airstrip of Lukla, pointing southbound. This is the only direction you can go because behind us is that slope. So you can only start and land into a certain direction. You can only start southbound and land northbound. And that's what we will try to do now. So let's get the plane started. The first thing, we need to do some fuel management, because if we want to land on this short airstrip, we need to reduce fuel to the absolute minimum. It's just going to be a quick go around. So reserve tanks empty and reduce the main tanks to the bare minimum. Let's say something a little bit below 300 pounds. That should get the job done. Just make sure that you don't run completely out of fuel. That's the last thing you want to know. You want to experience that your engines stop working when you're on short final to Lukla. Okay, almost 300 pounds. That should do. Now let's turn the fuel selectors. Here on the left main and the right main tank. See, left main, right main tank. So fuel selection should be okay now. Let's take care of the overhead panel now. We need the master battery for electricity. We turn on the magnetos to both, bring them into a horizontal position. Activate the booster pumps for the fuel. Open the throttle a little bit, maybe 10-20%, and press the starter buttons one at a time. Press down your brake panels to make sure you don't start rolling. This was the left, now we start the right. Look from outside. Both engines are running. I'm pressing down the brake pedals. Okay, we're almost good to go. One more thing missing. Go to flaps position 1. That's 7 degrees. For landing, we will of course use full flaps. That means 30 degrees. Let's deactivate the taskbar. You can steer the plane using the wheel brakes when you're on the runway. The rudder is useless for steering on the runway. So, to take off from this short runway, we rev up the engines to full capacity and we keep the propeller pitch high for maximum torque. Let's do this. Full throttle. Wait until the propellers rev up to maximum. Keep the brake pedals pressed. And now release the brake pedals. If the plane doesn't start moving, press Shift Bravo for the parking brake. The rear wheel comes up by itself. Use the wheel brakes for steering. Very gently, not to nose over. This plane noses over very easily. Retract the gear immediately. Fold up the flaps. So we're airborne. One thing I forgot to mention. Have a look at the altimeter. The airstrip is at 9,000 feet. It's at 9,000 feet, meaning you have to keep the a flight level of about 9,000 feet. Especially don't climb too high, because you cannot approach this runway in a nosedive. A good approach is 9,200 feet. Don't let it climb to more than 9,500 feet. Otherwise, your approach to the Lukla runway will end up in a steep nosedive. You will pick up too much speed and you will run out of runway length and crash into the slope at the end of the runway. We are now too fast, so I'm reducing throttle. I don't want to exceed 120 knots. Let's have a little fun. The paratrooper doors. Just make sure not to crash into the mountain. And now, just to kill some time, we will release some paratroopers.
25 paratroopers remaining.
Keep the altitude at around 9,000 feet, and then you're doing fine.
23 paratroopers remaining.
Reduce the speed to 100 knots and flaps position.
Paratroopers remaining.
Let's watch those paratroopers.
21 paratroopers.
Next flaps position, 15 degrees. Okay. So, we're done with the paratroopers, and now it's time for the U-turn. Using more flaps, and you can use full rudder. This plane can digest it. Keep an eye on the altimeter, stay around 9,000 feet. Don't climb too high. Landing speed will be around 60 knots. More than 80 and you will not make it to the end of the runway. Make sure to slow down the plane early enough to around 60 knots and don't do a nosedive. Stay between 9,000 and 9,200 feet. Even if it looks like you're below the runway level, that's just an optical illusion. In fact, if you're above 9,000 feet, you're above the runway. So rely on your altimeter, not on the visual. Now flying with 80 knots. That will reduce once we use full flaps and gear down. To do one more right turn, because at the moment we cannot approach the runway, this light green thing here, directly, because the mountains are in the way. We have to wait a little more and then do the right turn to align with the runway. Full flaps. Try to slow down even more. Also descend a little more. If you touch down too steeply, your plane will start bunny hopping, and that's the last thing you want when you're very short on runway length. Let's lower the gear. Ready for landing. Just have to do this final right turn to align with the runway. Speed is okay, 60 knots. Altitude is okay, 9,100 feet. Let's do the turn now. It is very difficult to do last minute corrections of the course because this plane is a little lazy when it comes to course corrections, so you have to get the job done beforehand. Make sure that you're aligned with the runway early enough. So that's what I'm trying to do now. Try to align with the runway. I'm a little bit left of the runway center line, have to drift a little more to the right. A little too high, 9,200, I want to go down to 9,100 feet. Make sure not to pick up speed, you have to be slow enough. 60 knots is the target. A little more to the left now. Don't slow down below 60 knots, otherwise you might crash against that steep slope. Touch down very gently to avoid bunny hopping. So throttle to idle. It's a little bit rough. Use the wheel brakes, but don't nose over. Alternate the wheel brakes instead of pressing them both at the same time to avoid nose over. So, here we are back again from our little go around the Lukla airport. Let's activate the parking brake. And you can simply shut down the engines by switching off the magnetos. We don't need the booster pumps, we need them only for startup. Well, this is it for today. Happy landing in Lukla, Nepal with the McDonnell Douglas DC-3. Thanks for watching and see you again next time. Goodbye.